Welcome to Sunday Dusk, and here's your host, Corvus Twig.
Hello, everybody! Welcome to... I've been hit by a goose. I have a feeling that's gonna happen a lot tonight. It's probably gonna happen a whole lot tonight. Well, welcome, everybody, to the special Palm Sunday... Palm Sunday edition of Sunday Dusk at... Another goose. You get a lot of gooses. So many gooses. We love the gooses. I mean, if you love gooses, I recommend you stick around, because, let's just say this is going to be a very goosey stream. A very, very goosey stream. You like gooses, keep the gooses coming. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. You might notice I'm wearing glasses. Yeah, my guest today gave me these pair of glasses. I don't know why I'm still wearing them. I actually can't see. The teleprompter has had very important news that I'm supposed to be reading right now, but with these glasses on, everything is like super blurry, so I have no idea what I'm supposed to be saying. Yeah, protection glasses. They're protecting me from all the falling or flying gooses. And, okay, the sound alert didn't... My sound alerts are completely borked right now, so, don't do sound alert redeems tonight, because for some reason, they ain't working. Although if you do it and it's drink some water, I promise you I will drink the water. You can still drink the water. I will drink the water and think, ow! Okay, I'm blaming Bentai for the sound alerts not working, but hopefully I'll get it situated soon. Yeah, I don't have time for all this technical jargon. I mean, it's March, people. We're nearing the end of March. We're marching towards the end of... Now, supposedly March comes in like a lion and out like a lamb. Well, the first couple weeks of March were in the, 40s and 50s, mild weather, no precipitation, super nice. Well, it's been snowing for like the last goddamn 10 hours here, and like it's going to be cold and blustery and winter weather. So I think they got it opposite this year. It's like in like a lion, or in like a lamb, out like a lion. I don't know. I don't know about lambs and lions. I don't know any lamb VTubers. The only lion VTuber I know is Jindal, and he's not the kind of person to dump snow on me, so I don't get it. I don't... Had hail there today, Rooster? Oh, see? This is weird March. It is weird March. We're getting on just all sorts of weird March weather. I don't understand it, but it is what it is. It's gonna be... I mean, it's spring technically now, but it'll be like nice spring soon. It's gonna get warm. Next week we got Rabbit Day. We got Easter coming up soon. So it's like I'm not doing anything for Easter. Just it's Egg Day. It's an egg themed holiday. We love eggs everywhere. So many colorful eggs, beautiful eggs. I don't know. Oh, that's Giant Rodney. Hello, Giant Rodney. How you doing, Giant Rodney? We love the Giant Rodney. We will not have giant eggs. Well, we don't have any ostriches around here. I don't know any... we talk about the types of birds that bird VTubers know. I don't know any ostrich VTubers. I feel like I should know some ostrich VTubers, but I don't. I know none. There's none in the bird server. I don't know if I should be talking about the bird server. I hope all you non-bird VTubers are not jealous of our amazing, awesome bird server. But maybe Bentai's in a Tauren server. I don't know. Got little communities, I guess. But my community is always open. We love each and every one of you. Funny that there are many emu related. There are? I don't know any emu VTubers. Where's the emu VTubers? I want to see them. I want to see these emu VTubers. Giant eggs. Well, like I said, we got a great show for you tonight. It's gonna be real fun. It's gonna be real silly. We're gonna have a good time. I'm feeling healthy again. It's gonna be great. But I suppose before we get started, it's time to talk about the news. That's right, we got some news, folks. Now, my first story comes from Richmond, Virginia. And we got an animal story this time. So I don't want to show the picture just yet because that's kind of the story. So there is a animal rescue place, the Richmond Wildlife Center in Virginia. And, well, unfortunately, there was a little baby fox who was orphaned. No parents. May grow up to be Batman someday, but for now they need care. And so they wanted to make sure that this baby fox, when raised in captivity, would be able to be released to the public. Or not to the public, but back to the wild. Because you don't want to, if this little baby fox is raised around just humans, foxes are kind of one of those weird things where they're like not really domesticated, but they can be kind of domesticated, and spending a lot of time around humans, they can get used to humans, and if that's the case, then they're not really it's not really good for you to send them back into wild. So they're like, we don't want to get this fox baby exposed to humans, but we need to make sure she's taken care of. So they found a solution, and I'm going to show that to you right now. It's horrifying. It's horrifying. Look at that fucking mask. So yes, the veterinarians have decided to put on a fox mask while caring for the little baby. You weren't expecting furry costume? Well, damn it, you got a furry costume, cannon fodder. Yeah, that's NFL quality. Yeah, it's just horrifying. I mean, look at the cute little baby fox. He's a pretty cute little baby fox. You guys are your little head there. It's actually tiny little fella, but yeah, apparently this is going to somehow adjust the baby fox to seeing adult foxes, and I guess it's better than being accustomed to human faces. They know what they're doing, but my God. My God. Like, imagine if you were a child and you were orphaned, and then they took, like, I don't know, like, dogs and put, like, human masks on dogs, like those, like maybe they took ones from like the celebrities that you see at like Spirit Halloween, like one of those celebrity masks or politician masks, and put that on a dog and then have that dog raise you. That's basically what they're doing here. But yeah, this is a little creepy, but you know what, they know what they're doing, and this probably is gonna be okay once it gets a little bit older and can be released. It's better than being accustomed to humans, and hopefully they'll release it in an area where there are other foxes, and those foxes will help get them there together. Cause this picture, I'm gonna have nightmares about this picture tonight. But yeah, the goal is to not have this be a captive fox. They wanted this fox to be a wild fox, and this is the best solution they had. So yep, it's gonna be released back into the wild eventually, and we hope this little fox kit does well. Godspeed to you, little foxy cutie. Wild fox keeps appearing in furry conventions. God. Maybe. I feel like foxes are highly represented in furry communities. I mean, why not? Foxes are cute. It's cool. So, my next before I go to my next story, I want to thank Denise Lavoie from the Associated Press for the article, "Staff at a Virginia Wildlife Center pretend to be red foxes as they care for an orphaned kit." All right. My next story comes from Vermont, specifically Vermont State University. For their music program has a new class, a class that you can take there. And, you know, with these music classes, oftentimes they will have a in-depth study of a particular genre of music. Or, you know, sometimes they even have particular, like you can easily take a class on Beethoven or other classic artists. Well, they've announced a particular artist whom they are now taking a class on. And they are going through this artist's entire discography, how they influenced music, how they've influenced the industry, and, basically what their impact has been and how that affects music today. This artist is a highly respected artist, one who is actually, I think, quite worthy to have a class on him. It is not Ed Sheeran, it is Weird Al Yankovic. That's right, at Vermont State University, you can now take a course on Weird Al Yankovic. And why not? I mean, if you're talking about the genre of parody music, it's like, I mean, who better? He's the king of parodies, but he's not just the king of parody songs. He parodies genres. He writes his own original music. His career is more than just taking lyrics from other songs and changing them and keeping the same instrumentals. No, he's done so much more than that. So much more than that. I mean, we love Weird Al. How can you not love Weird Al? I mean, polka. I mean, yeah. I mean, name another accordion artist. Maybe you can name a couple if you're a fan of the genre, but there's not too many. There's not too many. So yeah, the class is going to be based around the humor a little bit. They're saying that studying his work offers students a fun and engaging framework to study things like parody, songcraft, and music production analysis, the school said, as a direct quote. And the professor teaching the class, Brian Warwick, actually worked with Weird Al and, worked on Al's most two recent albums. And, he said that the class is just going to cover the parody songs. They're going to cover his whole catalog. It's going to be an in-depth look at the man's work and how it's affected culture and influenced the industry. And yeah, I mean, honestly, pretty great choice of a person to do. It's like, there's not that many, like, obviously you could do a class on the Beatles. I think you could do a class on Prince. I think you could do a class on Elvis, but I mean, the kind of number of people that you could do this kind of class on, I think it's a small number. I want to do a class at Dolly Parton would be great. It's like, but there's I would say there's not many artists who could warrant an entire class, but Al is definitely one of them. And well, I would like this class. I would take this class. So good on you, Vermont State University, and your Weird Al class. So, thank you, Ben Hooper of UPI, for the article Vermont State U announces class based around music of Weird Al. Now, my next one, I don't normally like to do crime, but we have a crime story here. This one comes from Nolens, New Orleans crime. For you see, there's been a heist going on over the last year or so. It's a slow heist. For you see, people have been breaking into the evidence room and stealing and consuming the drugs that were stolen in the evidence room. Now, the people doing this, not humans, no. It was the rats. The rats have been breaking into the New Orleans police headquarters and stealing the drugs, and in particular, eating the drugs. The representative was quoted as saying, "The rats eating our marijuana. They're all high." And they're saying that part of this is due because apparently, now the police budgets that they get there, apparently they don't keep their buildings clean. Apparently they just got to spend all their money on, high-tech weaponry, and instead of keeping their place clean. And apparently their evidence locker is absolutely filthy. Things are moldy, spider webs everywhere. The evidence lockup room is apparently just a complete pigsty, and mold and cockroaches. And it's just, but now we have rats in there, and the rats are eating the marijuana. A representative from Orkin Pest Control said that this is not something that they've ever seen rats do before, and it's brand new behavior. But they do believe that from eating this marijuana, that the rats likely get a high very similar to what humans do. So these rats are getting high. That's one of the reasons rats are used in lab experiments, is because a way that certain chemicals affect rats can be pretty similar to how it affects humans. It's not exact, but there are a lot of similarities, and that's why they're used so often. So, yeah, the rat's getting the munchies. And as we all know, rats already got the munchies. So now they got, like, super munchies. Super munchy rats. It's crazy. Silly. So, yeah, New Orleans has got high rats breaking into police evidence lockers and stealing it. And it's just, well, we always worried about there being a rat at the police office, and, well, I guess now we know for sure it is the case. So clean up your act, New Orleans Police Department, in every single possible way that you all need to clean up your act. So, thank you, Sky News, for They're All High. Rats eat marijuana from police evidence room. No author written on this one. Maybe it's AI. Hope not. All right, my last story is kind of a funny one. This is a billboard has been put up in Cincinnati, or no, it's in Covington, Kentucky. Covington, Kentucky has put up a new billboard, and people are curious about why this billboard has been put up. It's causing some questions. But, well, I guess there's really nothing to say about it. I just gotta show it to y'all. I said Cincinnati Reds because the person is clearly a Cincinnati Reds fan. And a picture of him with his friends put up there says, "This man consumes over 20 gallons of liquid cheese in a year. We cannot stop him." Because yes, apparently a group of friends paid to have their friend at this billboard put up, and it cost them $1,200. And it's gonna stay up for 4 weeks. And whether or not this man actually consumes over 20 gallons of liquid cheese in a year, we unfortunately, NDTV, was not able to find out this information. But apparently this guy does like to eat an excessive amount of, instant mac and cheese, whether it's Kraft or some other knockoff brand or something like that. And apparently likes to go to baseball games and get that liquid cheese with the nachos or something. But 20 gallons of liquid cheese in a year, that's still a lot of cheese. We don't know for sure this man actually consumes 20 gallons of liquid cheese in a year, but I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that he does. Although, I mean, look, that's the look of a man on a face that is ashamed of how much cheese he consumes. But, yeah, apparently it was put up by a person named Jonathan Pittman. Is the one who paid for it. But they haven't said who. They're actually keeping the privacy of the person on the billboard a secret. And there's lots of speculation going around about who this man could be and why this billboard was put up. It's possible because of the timing of it. Well, the Super Bowl was only a little over a month ago, so this guy may have taken a lot of speculation. This guy took last place in a fantasy football league, and this is his punishment for having taken last place. Other is that it's just a prank that just went a little bit too far, but I mean, $1,200 for a prank is a lot. But hey, we got Liquid Cheese Guy now, and for the next month, there's gonna be a billboard that people are gonna see every single day that says this man consumes over 20 gallons of liquid cheese in a year. We cannot stop him. And no, folks, we cannot stop him. He cannot be stopped. The liquid cheese will be consumed. So thanks, Anjali Thakur from NDTV for the article, "We Cannot Stop Him. U.S. Billboard Shames Man's Cheese Consumption." Silly times, silly times. We love it. We love it. Cheese. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like cheese. I even sometimes like a liquid cheese. I mean, I do love a good mac and cheese. I don't like the Velveeta or the Kraft mac and cheese. Give me like some actual properly made mac and cheese with, good real cheddar and baked, maybe some little crispy crumblies on top. Oh, that's good eating. That's good eating. I like that mac and cheese. But if the cheese is coming from, if the cheese was at ever any point in a powder form, yeah, this bird don't want it. This bird don't want it. Well, I suppose I should get behind the desk. Zoop. Yay. All right. Well, folks, it is time for my guest. My guest is a vicious beast. Okay, fine. You just freaking spoiled it. Yeah, my guest is a goose. She's a silly goose. She's a wonderful goose. She's a great friend. You've seen her on Jeopardy. And, everyone, I'm just so happy to welcome to Sunday Dusk, Gilbert Goose!
Hi, welcome on in. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not taking up any space.
Love you so much.
Thank you.
There's going to be a lot of small gooses thrown at me. There's 5. Yeah. So many gooses. So many. There's another one. It's just gonna be goose throwing probably for the next 30 minutes. Just deal with it. We're going to deal with it.
I mean, I'm fine with that. It's not me, so it doesn't matter.
That's true. That's true. I mean, you could always launch yourself at me.
I think I like where I'm at.
Okay,
I like where I'm at right now. I don't think I want to do anything else right now.
Well, the goose against skin throwing at me is an untitled goose, but you are not an untitled goose. You are Gilbert the Goose. Okay, that's all crows. Not. But anyway, how the heck are you? Welcome.
Thanks for having me. It's been good. I'm actually a little cold, a little chilly. So I put on my jacket today. Yeah,
it's a beautiful jacket. Yeah. From what I understand, that's a brand new jacket and hat for you.
Mm-hmm. First time wearing official clothes too, by the way.
Yeah, before you usually wore unofficial clothes.
Yeah. I mean, usually I'm just, kind of naked. It's fine.
Actually, I don't think I've ever seen you naked before. You always have your trademark scarf on.
The scarf is usually there. Yeah, the original model always had the scarf on. You could, remove it with the toggle, but
yeah.
The Canadian Goose, you could definitely remove that one a lot easier.
Okay. Yeah, because you are a goose of many forms. We have, obviously, this one right here, and this is the snow goose form?
Correct. Yeah, this is the snow goose form.
Snow goose form. Why don't you show it off a little bit? Show everybody the wonderful features of your new model.
Am I allowed to step on the table?
Yeah, you can couch. You can step on the cushion. That's fine.
Okay, right here. Okay. So this one has definitely been through a lot of upgrades compared to my other models. For example, I can open up my wings.
It's beautiful. Wings out.
Wings out. So this is something I've never done before. It took a lot of work. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
It's beautiful. I mean, the feathers, such beautiful feathers. You could do like a little proper wave. You can wave to people. It's wonderful.
I can. Although it was a challenge because I never realized how much goose anatomy both my model artist and rigger had to learn. We were going back and forth in DMs on learning how the goose anatomy bone-wise works, and then how to properly, break everything down into layers. So it was a challenge.
Yeah, the wings are not just attached to the shoulder blades like they seem to be on humanoid models that have wings.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I mean, it looks absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, who's a pretty goose? You're a pretty goose.
No.
Whoa. Oh God, that's that is wow. That's still frightening, to be honest.
It was added as a fun toggle. They were like, "Oh, we did this. If you don't like it, don't worry. Just get rid of it."
Don't like it. Love it. That's perfect.
It's amazing.
When Chad is misbehaving.
I see what you're doing, chat.
Yeah, we see what you're doing, chat. You better watch yourself. Gilbert's gonna come out to the audience and peck you. Yeah, and then you've got a couple different jackets that you can wear.
So I have my main outfit, which is this one. And again, the wings do open up with them.
Yeah.
I have sleeves. My jacket actually has sleeves.
Must be custom
along with
tailored,
the scarf.
you know.
Oh, for sure. It was not.
Yeah.
It's not easy to put outfits on a goose. Also,
Oh,
I
you
have
got
some
shoes! I didn't see
I have
shoes
shoes!
before.
Yeah, I've never had shoes before until this one. Isn't it exciting? Like,
It's so exciting. Oh, little tappy dances. I love it. I love
that's
it
from
so
the
much.
first model. I love that that's been consistent throughout all of them.
What, being able to do the little tappy?
Yeah, do the little tappies.
Yeah. I want to do tappy foots with mine. That'd be great.
Yeah.
And
It's
then,
good.
Yeah, I got the little bomber jacket here.
Bomber jacket, I got another pair of shoes and my sunglasses.
Yeah.
And again-
I love the sunglasses.
Wings out.
Wings out, baby. It's amazing. It's such a good model. Such a good model. I very much appreciate it here. So, yeah, it's pretty great. Pretty great. You look good. And
Thank you.
got any big plans for using this model? Or are you just gonna keep streaming the way you always have been?
Probably just continue with it, do whatever.
Loved you in Top Gun. No, we don't talk about the goose in Top Gun. That is that doesn't end well. It doesn't end well.
No.
I haven't seen that movie in so long, and I have not seen the sequel.
I haven't either.
Maverick. I've seen the movie Maverick, just not Top Gun Maverick. I didn't think the movie Maverick was that great either. I don't know. I like westerns, but that felt like, I don't know, it was like too campy for me. I don't know. But yeah,
Okay.
you do a good bit of streaming, and I noticed one of my favorite streams that you tend to do is you just playing a very chill game like Placid Plastic Duck Simulator, and you almost kind of just do like a just chatting conversational stream, but having a simple game like Placid Plastic Duck Simulator.
It's my crutch to just chatting sometimes. Sometimes I want something for chat to look at instead of just my face.
No,
So I put it up there.
it's a great way to do it. Yeah, you got to have some kind of motion in the background. That's why I have my crow friends flying around. Like one of them, like two of them, they're just doing laps around the building. It's what they do. It's just
Yeah.
very tired after a while. Yeah.
They get the zoomies at 7 p.m.
They do get the zoomies at 7 p.m. Yeah. I've also noticed that you've been doing a few collabs recently. Like I've seen you doing like a Lethal Company collab not too long ago.
I have a problem with Lethal.
What is your problem with Lethal?
I play it too much.
Yeah, we played Lethal Company on one of my streams recently, and yeah, it's a fun
Yeah.
game, but it's amazing. What the modding community has done with that game. Like,
It's pretty interesting. I don't actually like playing heavily modded Lethal. I play very simple ones. Usually all I ever do is just add like little like they're not even quality of life mods either. I just want to play as vanilla as possible myself because it's a lot easier to teach people the original game that way instead of having them play on a heavy modded game because then they learn off of that crutch and they don't use it to help them. They struggle when they play a non modded game.
yeah, because I've definitely played modded games that like add like a mini map and stuff like that, and yeah, that definitely makes the game ridiculously easy. So then if you try playing without it, you're like, oh my god, this is impossible.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of people, when they invite me, they're like, oh my god, actually, wait, Gilbert Pro? And I'm like, okay. Because a lot of people look at me and then half the time they'll be following me or they'll be, listening to what I'm doing because I know what I'm doing because I've just played that much of it. So I know what to do, what to look for and all that stuff, but I don't use a lot of mods to help improve the game other than like, opening up the lobby, adding suit colors and stuff and
making the
a mute.
cockroaches go yippee.
That too. But also the toggle mute mod. That one is a lifesaver. I don't ever since I've added that mod, I cannot go without it. That is one of the main like requirements and when I was streaming with Gray and when she had the big old collab, she forgot to add it. So everyone was talking over everybody. It was amazing. I do not want to do that again.
How many people did you have in there?
I would say about 6, 7
Okay.
people.
I've
It wasn't
actually,
like an insane amount, but
from my
when they're all
experience
streaming.
playing, like, I don't think it's as enjoyable when you have like 7 or 8 people. I feel like 4 is actually a good cap because there's
It
been too many
is.
times where I'm playing and it's just like I never find a single piece of treasure myself because all the people that have played more than me or better than me have all rushed in, and by the time I even get there, they've already got all the treasure outside. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just wander around into the depths and get lost and then die every time because to get deep enough to find anything, I get lost.
Yeah, I feel like the only time it's really nice to have more than 4 people is when you get to the larger moons that you pay for. The smaller ones, not really. You can do it. You can do it easily with 4 people, but the larger moons definitely better to have more people because those maps are larger. There's more items, not to mention more monsters.
And also, more likely that you're actually going to get some treasure back.
hmm
If 3 of you die, then there's still a bunch of you still alive. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah. But yeah, it's just like, I like how the game just took off for something that is, in reality, very simple, and the graphics are not very good, but it's like, it's got kind of that, like, PlayStation 1 retro feel to it, which has really been kind of a thing that's, like, cropped up the last few years of, like,
Yeah.
PlayStation 1 style games that are like, they look like PS1 games, but they ain't PS1 games. But it's just kind of
Yeah.
got that. But yeah, there's something, especially like, I feel like horror uses that more than any other.
Oh, for sure. There's so many horror games that uses that.
Yeah, there's like I think I saw one that was basically like you're a retail worker and you have to restock the shelves. But but you have to avoid customers who try to ask you questions or like get mad at you and report you to the manager if you don't have the item they want and stuff like that. So it's like, it's not a horror game, but boy, it's a horror game.
I do not miss working retail.
Ugh, I will never go back. There's enough other jobs. Even if I lose my current job and I have to go back to something that's below my grade, there's so many other jobs out there I'd rather do than work retail. Oh, I tell you.
I feel that.
Capitalist horror simulator. Now, are you a fan of horror?
Not quite. I mean, it's not bad when I'm with other people, but when it's by myself, I'm not that brave. Although people are like, but you play so much lethal, Gilbert. How are you not brave? You go back in by yourself. You do so many things by yourself. Well, mentally, I know there's other people with me. That's why.
Yeah.
If I'm by myself, different story, like really, really by myself. Also, I don't know. I don't find a lot of horror games very entertaining. Just the fact of the gameplay itself, I feel like it's very boring. It's very static. Usually you have a straightforward path and you just have to deal with whatever jump scares, whatever little things that come out to spook you. And I feel like the gameplay gets repetitive because there's not a lot that they can do to make the game as engaging other than straightforward jump scares, little moments, cutscenes, and then scavenging for items.
Yeah, because it's like Amnesia was like the first game that like revolutionized the, hey, we're gonna make it a horror game and we're gonna take away all your weapons and you can't fight back. But that was basically a straightforward walking simulator with there were some puzzles in there, but none of the puzzles were super taxing. But it's mostly just like avoid. But the problem with that game is that if you got to a part that was hard, after the monster has killed you twice, the monster's no longer scary. It's just annoying, and you're just like, well, now I'm no longer scared of dying. I want to get through the game, and you're not scared of the monster. You're just frustrated by it. And that ended up being like how so many horror games. But I've heard the bunker is very good because apparently they added a mechanic. So you have a gun now. You can actually fight back against the monsters.
Oh.
However, ammo is very limited. And ammunition isn't just useful for doing monsters. There's a bunch of locks in the game that can only be opened by shooting them. So
I'm not that surprised.
Every time you open a lock, that's one fewer bullet that you have to fight back against monsters. And every monster you shoot that's one fewer bullet you might have that might open a door to give you other supplies that you need.
Mm-hmm.
But then also, there's only one save point, and it's kind of in the central hub. So when you go out exploring to try and do all those things, you have to get back to base if you want to save. So dying is like scary because you don't want to waste all your time and have to go back to do it. So yeah, so apparently they've like tried to reinvent the Amnesia series to find a way to reinvent the formula. So that might be good. I kind of want to give it a try. Yeah.
Reminds me of like the original Resident Evil games where you had a limited save capacity and you would have to like find the tape recorder or whatever it was.
Ink ribbons.
Yes, that's what it was. And you had to go to like very specific spots to save.
Yep.
So that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Which wasn't a bad feature. But I'm an oversaver, so that's a bad feature for me.
Yes. There's so many games where it's just like, gotta save.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the things, it's just like, some of it I think it works better for horror, but like, there's other games like the Dark Souls games I could never really get that into, because for me it was frustrating to like be going through an area and die on monster number 8, but then still have to go back and refight monsters 1 through 7 before I get back to 8, and it frustrated me. You ever played any of those games?
I'm not a big Souls-like gamer, so not really. I think the most I've ever done was what's that game? What's the Hollow Knight, which is more like a quote-unquote baby Souls. It's what is it called? The Metroidvania ones?
Yeah, it's a Metroidvania, but it's much more difficult and like less handholdy than a lot of other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get that for sure. The thing is, I never super got into that one.
Really?
Yeah, I started playing it and I got like maybe an hour and a half in, and I just didn't have the drive to continue playing it. The thing is, like, I could recognize it was a good game, but it just, I don't know. Maybe it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Maybe it just was not for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, when you do stream, what would you say? Like, I mean, other than Plastic Duck Simulator, what are your kind of favorite games to play?
So I play a lot of simulator games. So very commonly, a lot of people know I play American Truck Sim.
Oh yeah, I love American Truck Sim.
I'm definitely renowned for my driving. Yeah. I play a lot of other games like that. Mainly, like, I just play games that don't have a true quote-unquote ending, because you can take it at your own pace and you don't have to worry about a storyline or something too heavily like that. Lately I've been playing a lot of what's it called? What's that game I've been looking at? Shoot. I had it in mind and then I completely forgot all about it.
Haven't I seen you playing, like, was it called The Longest Road or something like that?
Yeah, The Long Drive. That's the one I was thinking of.
The Long Drive, that's it. Yeah.
I haven't played it lately because I got stagnant. I'm at a point in the game now where it's like I don't need to collect anything. And it's bad.
Well,
that game is a driving simulator, and you basically find abandoned vehicles, you fix them up, you repair them, and you keep driving because you're driving down an endless road to get to the end. I gotten to the point where I have a bus full of all kinds of supplies, resources, and ammunition that I need. So I am technically, quote-unquote, at end game with my supplies, but there is no end game yet, so it's kind of mindless driving.
Yeah, and that could get a little tedious after a while. Now, Hasio mentioned it before. I had the opportunity to bring it up. It's like, oh, you played Truck Simulator, you played Longest Drive, but have you ever streamed Desert Bus?
I have not.
You think
I know exactly what it is.
I mean, it might be,
I would only do it for charity stuff.
Exactly,
I know it's a big charity thing, and I feel like I would only do it for a charity reason. Otherwise, I don't see a main reason to stream it without that context, you know?
But even getting like 1 point is almost impossible in that game to do by yourself, because it's like to go 8 hours without any bathroom breaks or food breaks or anything, you just have to keep playing. Only Penn and Teller could come up with a video game like that.
Yeah.
Do you ever I've seen people do Desert Bus, but I've never seen people do any of the other games on that Penn and Teller. I think it was like a Sega CD. I think it was where it came out of. It was like a whole series of games, and there was like a side scroller, game with Penn and Teller, and you. But I heard the game; they weren't very good. They weren't very good at all. I don't know. I like that people can make gimmicky games like that and be successful with them.
It's absolutely wonderful. I like little gimmicky games like that.
I'm trying to think what the best one that I ever played, but I don't know. I mean, Plastic Duck Simulator. Again, just a gimmicky game. It's great. Oh, we're getting raided. Ms. Noob T, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, raiders. Welcome, raiders.
Welcome on in.
Okay, it's not doing the raid signal either. What the heck? There's supposed to be like a raid thing. I'm sorry, my OBS has like gotten completely barked and is not connecting to Stream Elements. But it is connecting to Stream Elements because you can see the chat. You can see the chat, but you can't see. I don't know. But anybody, welcome Ms. Noob T. Welcome all the raiders or something. You got a couple birds here. Hi. Yeah, we got a couple birds. Check out our wings. My name is Corvus Twig. I am an American Crow VTuber, and I do a little chat show on Sunday nights called Sunday Dusk, where I interview wonderful people. And today, my wonderful person is the amazing Gilbert Goose. Is it Gilbert Goose or Gilbert the Goose? Do I need the in there?
Well, it's technically... Yeah, it depends where you look at, but it is Gilbert the Goose. Because, technically speaking, my name is correct. Other people who use Goose is not correct. Because Goose is a female term.
What?
Yeah, Goose is an actual female term. When you refer to a goose, you're referring to the female goose. And the male goose is, what are they called? Yeah, gander. So technically speaking, my name is correct.
For me being I've heard of gander as a term for a male goose, but I didn't know that the word goose was only technically supposed, because you hear the whole species is just referred to as the goose. It's the Canada goose, it's the snow goose, it's the goose. It's not like you have peacocks and peahens. The species should be called the peafowl. So I mean, if we got goose and gander, well, then what's the gender neutral term for a goose / gander?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know on that one. Although I do know if a swan and a goose mate, they have a swoose.
A swoosh?
A swoose. It's called a swoose.
Which, I can see how that would be possible because you are in the Anseriformes, which is all waterfowl, but geese, ducks, and swans are all in the same family. They're like geese, swans, and ducks are pretty much as closely related as jays, crows, and ravens. And a little crossbreeding. But swoosh, that's I've never seen.
It sounds fun. It sounds fun, I will say.
It does sound fun.
The name swoosh is so fun.
Now, I mean, obviously, other than the fact that you are a goose, do you have any sort of special connection to geese?
No.
No. It didn't go up around. Oh.
It's a little unfortunate. I don't see a lot of geese in my area. They're usually just migrating by, so sometimes I'll see them stopping by lakes and ponds and stuff. But most of the time they don't stay here, so I'm not in any of the main nesting areas for them, which is really unfortunate. So I don't get to see them as often. I only see them when migrating, and they usually fly overhead.
Yes. Yeah, we where I live here in Minnesota, we get a lot of Canada gooses. Do a lot of their baby raising right here in Minnesota. So, May, June, you got a lot of the little goslings, and they're super cute, but don't go near them. Don't go near them. We know what happens. We get an angry goose. I I used to golf, and there was a place where I was golfing, and my ball went a little off course, and it did not hit any of the geese, but it did stop in the middle of them. And
Oh,
it's like, do I try and get my ball back?
that's theirs now.
And, well, now I got my ball back, so what I did was I took a club in each hand and just
Yeah.
kind of slowly walked in and just used the clubs. I did not swing the clubs at them. I would never want to hurt a goose, but I did use it to gently guide them away from me, and they were not happy, but I was able to get my ball back, and rather than trying to hit there, I just picked it up and dropped it no nearer to the hole, but just not in the middle of geese. But, I always wonder if, like, what do they do in the PGA if, like, suddenly a flock of geese decides to land somewhere and somebody can't get to their ball because of geese? Does the PGA have rules for geese?
I mean, that's a good question, in all honesty. I mean, geese are so commonly and notoriously known for holding up traffic, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have.
For sure.
I have seen many a car. I don't drive a car myself, obviously, being a crow, but I've definitely seen cars that cannot. I was actually, it was last summer. I was going by Home Depot, and there was a young lady out the side at a picnic table eating her lunch, and there was a goose like right up on her, like honking her. And I just go over like, ma'am, are you being harassed? And she's like, yes. I tell you, I could watch videos of geese, chickens. I mean, any kind of bird really chasing kids. Any video of a bird chasing a kid, I could watch that all day.
Honestly, same though. It's just so good. It's so good.
Geese are just ow. But I think geese are, I think they're kind of like wrongfully maligned. People say that geese are mean and nasty, but I mean, honestly, most of the times when they're like aggressive, they're protecting their children. And it's just like, we're predators of the goose, and we're a threat to their babies. We're a threat to their babies. They gotta protect their babies. I don't blame them.
Yeah, they're fearless for that too, because they don't back down.
Well, I think, here's the thing. If a human and a goose, I would say an adult of each one, they got into a fight, and each of them had the desire and intent to kill, the human is going to win that fight every single time. But in the real world, the goose knows that the human, most of the time, does not want to kill the goose. And they know that if they put everything into it, that human's going to back off and fight. Because the realistic thing is, most humans don't want to hurt a goose. If a goose comes at you, you want to, make it stop, but you don't want to hurt the goose.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you're 180 pounds. That goose is 15 to 20 pounds. It's not going to do anything to you other than, it might hurt if it pecks and scratches at you. But that goose ain't going to do anything to you. But the goose knows this human doesn't actually want to hurt me, so I'm going to win this fight. And then the goose wins the fight.
Yeah.
But I've always kind of wondered. I've seen some nasty turkeys. I've never seen any altercations between geese and turkeys.
I don't think so either. I think, if anything, the main areas where they're at, they don't usually overlap. And even then, it's just, they're not focused on other birds in their area, just like their nesting areas. So turkeys aren't a part of their world.
Yeah, I suppose they're not really a threat to each other. They're not really competing for food or anything. So it's like, yeah, they got no reason to beef with each other. No reason to beef. Unlike gulls and crows, we got beef. Gulls and crows got beef. I've seen many a fight. I've been involved in a scrap with a few seagulls in my day. Somebody dropped their bag of McDonald's in the parking lot, and, well, someone's going to get that bag of McDonald's, and it's either going to be the crows or it's going to be the gulls.
Survival of the fittest, that's all it is.
Survival of the fittest. So any other projects you've been working on lately? Anything artistic or something that you've been proud of?
So overall, I don't have a lot of projects. I mean, all I do in my spare time when I'm not streaming is I do edit a lot of my own videos. So I edit everything from my own trailers to my own TikToks. Anything that I need to upload usually are done by me directly. So I do a lot of video editing. That's my main projects that I do. I'm also well known for, or rather used to be well known for, is my mobile art, where I would make my memes on my phone at work every single day.
Yes.
I don't do it as often anymore though, because I have a burnout and I run out of inspiration. But that's what I also used to do.
Well, but I mean, I've seen a lot of your little short videos, and God, I think there was the one that might be your most viral video you've ever done. Of the is it Hatsune Miku looking up all with lovey-dovey eyes in the shadow, and then it just gets cuts to you just being a silly goose.
It's just me being a silly goose.
Oh my
I think
God.
that was the most viral one, which blew up, and I was like, oh no.
But how did you get into video editing? What kind of software do you use? Do you use
So I was just like, the main reason why I was like, I want to learn how to do my own videos was so I didn't have to pay people. I can learn a skill on my own because I've always wanted to learn video editing. I just never got the time to sit down and learn it until now. I used a pirated version of Adobe because I'm not paying a single penny towards Adobe and their products. So I sail the seven seas.
God, especially lately, Adobe's been going all in on AI, and it's just like,
yeah,
Adobe, you literally have made your entire business model off of artists, and now you're basically saying, hey, artists, screw you. God, Adobe's a terrible company.
It sucks because they're an industry standard in a lot of places, so you can't just not use it. A lot of places will pay for their licenses because that's all they need or require because of very specific things. So there's no escape. It's gonna happen, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not paying a single penny though. So I private all my stuff about.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a phrase I've only heard recently, but I really like it a lot. And the phrase is, if buying isn't owning, then pirating isn't stealing. Because
yeah,
and that's the other thing is Adobe's just no, we're not going to sell you our software for $150. We're going to lease you our software for $150 a year. It's no, I hate all the subscription service for software stuff. Just give me a piece of software that works. And luckily there are starting to be more and more alternatives. I recently, well, not recently, but I got DaVinci Resolve for video editing, and I paid for it, and I didn't pay a lot for it. It was inexpensive. And can it do as much as Adobe Premiere / Final Cut? No, but I don't need it to because I don't use the features that it doesn't have.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that sucks the most is when you think about it, when we purchase video games through Steam, we're only owning a temporary license. That license can last as long as the company has it, and then they can take it away. Because that was happening with some of the other, who was it? Was it some of the older EA games or something? I can't remember who it was, but they were doing that to them. So even then, we're not even owning any of the games that we purchase because we don't get a quote-unquote lifetime license to own that. We just have a temporary one until they take it down.
Which is why I think it should be perfectly ethical and reasonable to download a pirate copy of a game that you have already purchased. If you paid for it, you should have access to it. And now we're getting all... I mean, now, if there's a movie or TV show you like, you need to pirate it if you ever want to see it in the future. Especially if it's Warner Brothers.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I remember reading up on that, and I was like, I'm so tired of this. I don't have... Okay, listen, I have enough space to start pirating all these shows, but, you know how much space that takes up so fast? It's insane. I mean, it's insane that this is what's coming forward.
Luckily, a 4 terabyte hard drive is pretty cheap these days. I think you can get a 4 terabyte drive for like $150 these days.
Yeah, I mean, what I used to do is I set up a home NAS server so I can do that.
Oh, nice.
And I think I put up like how much did I put in there? I think it was about 6 terabytes in there, and it was working just fine. But it's just like that's the path we have to go.
I know.
And I'm just like,
there's a few Cartoon Network shows that are basically, if not for the pirates, are gone forever.
yeah.
You cannot buy them physically, you cannot stream them, and they can never be put back on streaming again because they did like a tax write-off thing for it. And I've written my congressperson and senators and basically said, you need to introduce a bill that says that if any media company writes off a piece of media and receives a tax break for doing so, then that piece is now copyright free. It is just, the public domain and copyright free are two different things. They wouldn't go into public domain, but they would go into like copyright free. So like, so let's say this new Coyote versus Acme movie that got axed. Several critics and people that I've seen got to see it and said it was a fantastic movie, that it was really funny, well written, and a great movie, and it will probably now never see the light of day because like Warner Brother axed it because they wanted the tax write-off for whatever reason. Well, then anybody should just be able to upload it to YouTube and not have it taken down because like if we can't get it legally, then it should just be open because artists put work and effort into it. People wrote that movie. The director directed it. The cinematographer did the scenes. The actors did the acting. It's just like all those people, even if they don't get they all got paid like the base fee for doing it, but like they won't ever get their residuals, but at least they want their art to be seen. Artists make art for their art to be seen. And first, I'm sorry, I just rant like this all day. I'm talking over you. You're the guest. But, I'm sure you're just nodding thinking, yep, agree.
I mean, I totally agree with it because it's like a lot of the shows, especially from the older times, are gone. You can't find them because especially when people were struggling to even record like actual like TV show broadcasts, because that was more expensive to do that than it was to actually, pay for cable back then.
Yeah.
Like,
isn't like
that
a significant amount of Doctor Who that was broadcast prior to 1990 is just gone?
I think so. I'm not too familiar with Doctor Who itself because I've never seen a single episode, but I know for a fact like there was a time where prior to a lot of the shows back then were just not even saved or recorded at all because the technology first and foremost didn't even exist or was too expensive for the common household to have it. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen any of those like older posts of people who would actually get like specific like PCI cards and put it in their computer and hook up their cable to it directly for them to record the shows.
Yeah.
Like that's expensive when you think about it back in the modern day, like or back then in that day. It was expensive. Technology was was very expensive.
Well, like I know in the 60s and 70s and even into the early 80s, it's like they would, when they recorded things, they would put it on a tape and that tape would have it. But those tapes were expensive. So they would just record a new show over the old one.
Yeah. Oh my God. Don't make me think about that.
Yeah. There's a lot of lost media out there. I mean, I'm familiar with lost media. Do you know that there's a lost bird of the day?
No.
There's a lost bird of the day. There's a bird of the day that I recorded, and for some reason I forgot to make the clip of it on Twitch, and then it expired and it's gone.
Oh, that's so sad.
I'm also very mad at myself because I didn't do the not clip, but the highlight.
The highlight, yeah.
I didn't highlight or save any episodes of Jet Birdie. They're all gone. Jet Birdie is lost media.
Oh no!
But
See, funny enough,
you should be happy for that because you have maybe the most embarrassing moment ever in Jeopardy history, where you went into Final Jeopardy with more than twice as many points as the person in second place, and all you had to do was just not bet more than half of your points, and you bet the whole stack and you got it wrong.
See, the thing is, I had to do it for comedic effect. First and foremost, would I ever make an illogical choice on staying out of a fight like that? No. I'm a goose. I have to fight for my honor. So if I go down sinking, then so be it, you know? Ironically, though, I did record that for myself. So I have the recording of me failing.
Oh my god, I might actually want that from you. Yeah, but it's, I mean, I don't know. I might bring back Jeopardy at some point again. It was a fun show, you know?
It wasn't bad. I liked it, although I'm not very knowledgeable in a lot of the topics. So, and when you ask someone, "Oh, what do you like? What do you know?" You forget everything. You know. So when you asked me, I was like, I think I know this, and I was like, what do I know? What am I obsessive about?
I mean, it's always an easy thing I say for that is like, well, just pick a TV show that you know really well. You know, like I could say like King of the Hill. Yeah, give me a trivia questions on King of the Hill. I would nail that. Or Simpsons up till season 9.
Well, it's more like I actually don't watch a lot of media. Movies I actually don't like to sit through. I get very like anxious through them. It's more like I get restless through them, so I don't finish a lot of movies. I will watch some, but then I need something else to do while I'm there. Otherwise, it's just like I'm just like anxiously waiting for it to be done so I can get out of my seat, or you know, I'm on my phone if I'm watching it at home, not in the theaters. I don't do that.
I haven't been to theaters too. Well, I'm trying to think. What was the last movie I saw in theaters? Barbie, maybe?
I mean, I wouldn't blame you.
Barbie was good. I liked Barbie.
I did too.
I don't think that people should be that upset about Barbie not getting nominated for Oscars. Like, come on. This was a summer popcorn flick comedy.
Yeah.
The fact that it got as many nominations as it did was amazing.
Yeah. It was still pretty good for what it was.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good movie. It was a great movie. It was a really fun movie. It's some of the most fun I've had these long time. Is it an Oscar movie? Come on. It's not an Oscar movie.
Not. It's not. Without a doubt, it's not.
Oppenheimer was the Oscar movie, you know. But though I never did see Oppenheimer.
I didn't either, actually. I knew they were both at the same time, and I was just like, oh, this is some interesting lineup at the movies.
It's kind of funny because they were doing the whole Barbenheimer marketing thing and go do the double feature. And then in the end, I think Barbie ended up doing over like something like 3 to 4 times as much box office. I think Barbie had a lot more repeat viewers than like I don't feel like a lot of people went and saw Oppenheimer 2 or 3 times, but people definitely did with Barbie.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, I just apparently with Barbie's success now they're making a Polly Pocket movie, but I mean part of what made Barbie work is that Barbie of all of like the toys is one of the toys that is a cultural icon. Like I think they were saying that Barbie is the number 2 named character in all of music. So like they take like music, like popular music, and like they take like, you know, which characters are mentioned, and Barbie is the second most mentioned character. Can you guess who number 1 is?
No, who is it?
Superman. Superman is the most mentioned character in music, but Barbie is number 2.
You know, I can see that actually. I had to think about that. I haven't watched anything superhero-wise in a hot minute, so I was like, I didn't consider superheroes.
Well, and I mean, Superman is one of those things. It's like how many like single lines where it's just like, you know, where it's just like I was a Superman, or just like a throwaway line in so many things.
Yeah.
But then also you've got, you know, songs called Superman. You got, you know, Superman by Goldfinger. Kryptonite by
3 Doors Down or whatever they're
there's something with 3 Doors Down.
It's something with the 3 doors.
Wait, is it 3 Doors Down or Third Eye Blind or something with a 3?
it's I know it's 3 doors and then that's it. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Barbie girl, okay. Something funny so right now I am dog sitting. My
Mm-hmm.
sister's little wiener dog. His
Mm-hmm.
name is Party.
Mm-hmm.
Pardi. He's actually named after a country artist named John Party. But anyway, his name is
Ah.
Party.
Mm-hmm.
The other day, it was time for him to go outside. And so
Mm-hmm.
my girlfriend is like standing by the door. And then she says, "Come on, Party, let's go potty." And I immediately had to go, "Come on, Party, let's go potty." Ah, ah, ah. And so now that's what we've been saying every time we need to go out for the last couple days because it's just too perfect.
Beautiful. I love
Uh,
that.
yeah, he's a good little dog. He's a good little dog. We like dogs. Are you okay? Dogs or
Mm-hmm.
cats? You a dog person or a cat
Cats.
person? Cats. Ah, you like cats. Do you have a pet cat?
I do. I don't have the
Ah,
energy for a dog to keep up with them because they're very social and I am not.
dogs are
Cats.
a lot of effort. Yeah, cats are a little more self-sufficient. I mean, you still got to put effort in, but you don't need to.
Mhm. Well, it's also like the area that I'm in. If you have dogs, a lot of people keep them outside. So we have a lot more outside dogs, and I don't need that. You know, if I were to ever take my dog out or, have them outside in the yard, I would have a lot of free roaming dogs just coming up into my yard, either trying to fight with like the family dogs, which we've
Oh,
had in the
that's not good.
past. And smaller dogs don't last very long.
Oh
We
no.
Yeah. So I purposely choose animals that you can stay inside, which are cats, and they're a lot more, at the very least, if they get in danger outside, they can at least climb the tree until you can get them.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm like, I stick with more with cats because they're a lot more chill, low
Oh.
energy, and, they stay around my area,
Mhm.
which is nice, instead of like being in my space.
Yeah. Yeah. Bunny's upset for yeah. Bunny takes care of dogs and is very much of a
Yeah, I'm,
sweetheart. I love her, but we're just gonna assume
yeah,
that they did the little dogs just get in fights. But yeah,
yeah.
it's they're fine. They're fine. All the dogs are
Hmm.
fine. They're happy. They're fine.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cats indoors. We love cats, and also keep your cats indoors for the safety
Hmm.
of the cat and for the safety of the local bird life.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah. Like I know what would be best for dogs, and my space is not for it, so I don't choose to
no,
have them.
that's smart. That's smart. It's
Hmm.
important to know. Anytime you get a pet, you need to know your living environment and what works
Hmm.
for the pet. Responsible.
Yeah.
So I applaud you for being responsible.
It also is rough because I ride I ride motorcycles. Um, I like to ride my
Nice.
motorcycle, and the problem is since we have outside dogs, they aren't trained. So if they see or hear a bike, they want to chase it. I
Yeah.
I've hit a dog once before on one of my other
Oh
bikes.
no.
It was not fun. And then every now and then I do my best to make sure I avoid very specific streets, roads, and cities that have these open dogs. Unfortunately, I live in a very dense city that has them. So whenever I ride my bike, there's a very specific pathway I have to take to avoid all the dogs to get into the other city, to get on the highways and stuff.
Wow.
It sucks.
I
So
wish those dogs owners were a little bit more responsible, and by that I mean a lot more responsible.
yeah,
These
it's unfortunate.
these animals rely on you humans. Take care of them,
Hmm.
please. Anyway,
It's really bad.
we're gonna move on to something a little more happy. We're gonna talk about a bird now, because it is
Yeah.
that time, folks. It's time for bird of the day. So let me bring up.
Am I moving? Do I get to move?
Yeah, actually, you're gonna go to the far right corner when we cut over. So when it gets to transition, quick zip yourself to the bottom right corner.
Okay.
Why is this not? Okay, sorry, my folder was like not opening. Now it is. All right, time for bird of the day.
Woo!
All right, yeah, you go like all right. Yeah, I'll go. Okay, you go there. Okay,
I don't know where you want me.
This is you're perfect.
I'm a little cut off, actually. Oh,
We're gonna have to cut you. Oh,
YouTube Studio is not going to that end of the corner.
I wonder if I accidentally resized. Wait.
Oh. Oh, almost
Yes.
there. Oh, okay. I guess
Yeah.
it just doesn't like it. You know what? This is fine. We can ignore
Yeah,
it.
it's for
I'm
some
gonna.
reason I'm not quite at 1080p on the VTube Studio. It's like it changes size.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Maybe just
You know, it would be fine. I just won't look at
just
it
move a
anymore.
little bit closer this way, and it'll be fine. Now we're good. Now we're good.
There you go. Yeah,
God, I
we're
look like
fine.
a freaking hipster with these glasses on. Why did you give me these? I
I
seriously
couldn't.
look like a hipster today. I don't.
I mean,
Anyway,
I didn't want to give you my coffee cup. Okay.
it's fine. It's fine. I already have my own coffee cup.
Yeah, you don't need a number one goose coffee cup. Okay,
Yeah.
it's mine.
Yeah, you are the number one goose.
I
You're
am.
the best goose VTuber I know. Anyway, we're gonna get to bird of the day now. So when I'm doing the clip, starting in 3, 2. Welcome everybody to Carvis Twig's Bird of the Day. I am joined today by a silly goose, a snow goose named Gilbert. Now, it feels like it would be wrong for me to have on a goose and then have the bird of the day not be a goose. So, my bird of the day is standing right next to me. The bird of the day is the snow goose. Look at that. Look at those beautiful geese. Actually, kind of looking at the one on the right. Actually, both of them, they kind of look like they got like grills in. Like the gold teeth grills. They kind of.
Yeah.
These some gangsta geese right here.
Yeah.
We got the snow goose. Now, if you live in North America, this is the second most common type of goose you're going to see in North America after the Canada goose. And what a beautiful, majestic goose. I mean, look at them. I mean, you think goose, that's what you see there. Beautiful geese. Look at these two little fellas here. So let me tell you a little bit more about the snow goose. Well, they are 25 to 31 inches long. And that's mostly body there. Like, they don't have super long tails. Some birds, it'll be like, this is a 12-inch long bird, and like 7 of the inches are their tail. Now these guys, that's mostly body. And then, oddly enough, they stand, kind of between like 28 to 34 inches tall when they're standing fully up and down. They also got nice big wings, a 53 to 65-inch wingspan. Nice wings, big wings. But they gotta fly long distances, so they need big, powerful wings like that. Weight-wise, they're gonna be 4.5 to 9 pounds. So like I said, a goose is attacking you. This thing weighs less than 10 pounds. It's not going to hurt you. They don't weigh that much. But I mean, they got 100 pounds of fight in 7 pounds of goose. And then lifespan-wise, actually pretty decent lifespan for a wild bird. Average is about 27 years. The oldest banded was 30 years and 9 months. So, but most of them, if they reach adulthood, they have a very good chance of reaching their mid to late 20s. So good on them. Good on them.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good lifespan. And they are Anseriforms, which is most commonly known as waterfowl. And Anatidae is the family that includes ducks, geese, and swans. So, and then usually the Anser genus is going to be, most of your geese are going to be in the Anser genus. And I'm not even going to try and pronounce that species name. You just read it. Just figure it out.
We'll look at it. Yeah, just look at it.
So as I was saying, they are a North American goose. So on that map there, the blue regions up to the north are going to be their breeding ranges, and it's where they're going to spend most of their summer times. And then the kind of reddish, orange, brownish colors at the bottom there, that's where they're going to migrate down to in the wintertime. So it seems they really like that central U.S. area there. They like Louisiana. They like the coasts of eastern Mexico there. I'm just sad that none of that is in Minnesota. The only times we see these in Minnesota is when they're flying overhead.
Yep.
But I think it is interesting how much of Canada they don't live in the summertime. Like, they really go up north to those like pretty cold tundra-y areas, which are supposed to be very beautiful in the summertime.
It's in their name too, so I mean,
of course, yes, yeah. The the Canada goose tends to be more kind of in those mid ranges. So they actually don't have a ton of overlap with the Canada goose. And yeah, it's almost like the geese have like kind of, it's like, all right. Because, I mean, they're tough birds. They're like, this is our territory. This is your territory. And they respect the territories. They ain't going to incur on each other's territories. Well, I'm sure they do sometimes. I'm sure there's some crossover. But, yeah, those northern regions. I wonder if there's any snow geese. There's that one island up there that's... I'm trying to remember what the name of the island is. But it's one of those bigger islands up there. There's a lake on that island that has an island in the lake. And on that island, there is a smaller lake. And in that smaller lake, there is an island. So there's an island in a lake on an island in a lake on an island. And I wonder if the snow goose has ever been on that small little island.
I wonder, actually. That's a good question.
It's possible. They're actually pretty sure that no human has ever been set foot on there because it's so remote. Like,
yeah,
there's no way to get there. But the geese, they might own it. Maybe they've got a little shrine built there. I don't know. Yeah, these guys, they like the cold weather. They can handle it a lot better. You know, water that's just barely above freezing. No problem for them. No problem. Now, one of the things that I do love about these fellas is they are monogamous. They form a lifelong mating. So usually, first year, they're just little cute little baby chicks. First year, they tend to stick around and live with their parents, and actually, they'll help like guard and protect their younger siblings. And then at 2 years, maybe third year, is when they're going to find a mate. And them and their mate, they might leave their parents and go find another flock and get a mate there. Sometimes there's like what they call almost like teenage flocks, where there's like geese that are 2 or 3 years old, like congregate to find a mate. And then they might form their own little flock above. Yeah, it's kind of weird how it works, but it's like they sometimes stick around, they sometimes leave, but either way, they're going to find a mate. And they will quite frequently stick with that mate for the rest of their life. You know, if a mate dies, they'll probably try and find another one. But yeah, they mate for life. And usually the female is going to want to go back to the same spot where she was born to lay her eggs. That's kind of neat. But the interesting thing is that, like, when they're like 2 or 3 years old, they're going to form that mating bond with their partner. But they're going to then wait a year to have children. That's pretty rare. Usually it's like, I like you, you like me. All right, we're smashing. All right, we got babies now. This is our life now. We're parents now. But no, they actually wait a year. It's like that's some human behavior right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of interesting. It's unusual bird behavior. You're going to have 3 to 5 eggs per clutch, and they're only going to do 1 clutch per year, because these little babies, they don't grow up super fast. It takes kind of their whole first year to grow up. They're some of the slowest. I mean, there's other birds that it's like, well, I'm 8 weeks old. I'm an adult now. Bye. But these little guys take a little longer. But, oh God, look at that picture down there. Aren't they so cute? I mean,
I love them.
Baby waterfowl might be the cutest babies. I mean, you know that I've got some issues with waterfowl. Although, really, it's gulls I have the biggest problem with. But, you know me and water birds. You're not my favorite. I mean, you're obviously an exception. You're one of the good ones. I should say that. That's terrible. But, I mean, waterfowl, they got the cutest babies. I mean, come on. Look at those little golden nuggets. They're so cute. The females are going to be doing pretty much all the incubation, while the males are going to kind of protect the area. And it is a nice thing is that, like, all the males are going to protect all the babies, because they tend to nest in communities. They're going to, like, find a pond or something. It's usually going to be near water, and all the nests are going to be kind of clustered up near each other. And so the males are just going to kind of be like roaming guards. And so, like, yeah, he's protecting his own nest, but by protecting his nest, he's by default protecting all the other nests too. Because unfortunately, that is when they are at their most vulnerable. Those nests are on the ground, so snakes, foxes, weasels, there's but by the female staying at the nest a lot of times, she can, it's not easy to get to the egg when there's an adult goose sitting on top of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, one of the interesting things, some babies, when they hatch, they're kind of helpless for a few weeks, and they just are those little grotesque little gremlins that need to be fed.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, geese, it's like, well, I was born at 10 o'clock. Time for me to, it's dinner time. I guess I got to go find my own dinner now. Born at 10, eating their own dinner at 6. And so, yeah, the chicks basically go out and leave the nest, and the parents do not feed the chicks. The chicks do it all on their own. Now, the chicks are going to be grazing and stuff, and the adults are going to be standing nearby, keeping watch, and maybe showing them what to eat. But the babies are going to be pretty much eating on their own. And then, yeah, they do it as a flock. So, I mean, I think you probably, certainly if you live in the United States, you've probably seen a flock of Canada gooses, and it's just like a whole group of them, and they're all just kind of walking around pecking at the grass. That's kind of how they do it too. It's like the babies are there. The babies are kind of part of the community. They know which ones are theirs, but the community raises the babies, and the babies just get their own food while the adults just kind of supervise, show them where to go. And I think that's wonderful. I like community life. I like community birds that watch out for each other, and because of this system, these babies probably have some of the highest, I should say lowest infant mortality, if that makes sense. Like they're more likely to survive to adulthood than other birds.
Yeah.
It's just like a sparrow might have 20 babies a year, and 4 of them might survive to adulthood, whereas on average of a clutch of 3 to 5, maybe the average is 2 to 3 survive to adulthood, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a scary world out there for a wild bird. Now, you saw in that first picture, and in this one in the bottom right here, I know it's a second to last point, but I want to mention it's like, how come some of them have a dark brown body and some of them have a white body with the black tipped wings? It turns out that there is a genetic markers that tell you what kind of feather colors you're going to have, and there's a rare genetic trait that causes one in every 100 snow goose has a dark brown body, and they are called the blue goose.
Yeah.
And I think
love that name for them.
I think that's kind of neat. I don't know why they call them blue gooses. Those feathers don't look blue to me.
No.
Once in a blue goose. Oh my god, that'd be such a great phrase.
Oh, that's so good.
That is great. But yeah, I was talking about them being communal. Well, during the breeding season, their flocks might be like 12 to 30 birds. During migration season, it might be 100,000 to even over 1 million. I think the largest flock of these geese ever seen was estimated to be around 1.4 million geese. Can you imagine the sound? There's too many geese. That's too many geese.
I need to be where my people are.
Yeah, like a flock of 10,000 of these guys would be a small flock during the migration period. And you think about that, it's just like you're in one like a big pond in Texas or something, and suddenly millions of geese. My God. But fear not, folks, for these geese will not harm you because they are herbivores. They might occasionally eat an insect, but only by accident because they were trying to eat the plant that the insect was on. They will eat a pretty wide variety of things. Grasses, flowers. Like you name a kind of plant that's, edible, they'll eat it. But here's the thing. the snow goose is a little more mean to plants than the Canada goose. Whereas the Canada goose will be like, they will trim the plants. They'll peck off a leaf. They'll pull off a flower. They'll take the top part of the grass. The snow goose is like, screw that. I'm uprooting this motherfucker and will eat the whole thing. They will really they can actually be pretty devastating to natural plant life, which means that if you are a farmer and a flock of these geese lands in one of your fields, that could be really bad. So farmers don't really like the snow goose. Now, luckily, it's not too much of an issue because up in their breeding range, there's not a whole lot of farmland up there. But yeah, down in Texas and kind of that southern area of the U.S. where there's a lot of farmland, these guys can be a real problem. And that actually makes it because unlike Canada gooses, it depends on Canada gooses, depends on where you are, what time of year and stuff. But these guys in the southern United States, it is legal to hunt them for sport because they do not want to have the fields ruined by them. Which, I mean, yeah, if a million geese are ripping up all your crops, I kind of understand it. But they eat a lot. They really eat a lot. And they also have an incredibly fast digestive system. And, what is the other thing that geese are known for? It's defecating. And these guys, they say a snow goose can poop 6 to 15 times. Did I say per day? No, I did not mean per day. Per hour. Now, Gilbert? Maybe this is too personal of a question. I mean... Okay, we'll just move on from that one.
I'm not keeping count.
We're not keeping count. Yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing is that a goose goes when a goose needs to go. That's just true with all birds. We poop when we need to poop, and we don't even think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, think about that. 1 million geese pooping 6 to 15 times an hour. Oh, God, so much. Literally a shitstorm. Yeah, that's right, buddy. That's right. These guys are shit factories. But fortunately, because it's all plant matter, goose poop doesn't really smell bad. You know, it's just plant matter. But if you got it all over your sidewalks and your lawn or something. But I imagine it's probably pretty good for fertilizing. You know, it's good fertilizer.
I was gonna say
it's fine. It's plant matter that's been processed. It's probably very good fertilizer.
Yeah.
Well,
it's all natural.
Since there are millions of them, they are a species of least concern. And in fact, their population has almost quadrupled. Growing by 300% means quadrupled. So that confused me. It's just like, wait, isn't 300% 3 times? No, because 100% is doubling, so 200%. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
The math is wild.
The math is confusing. But yeah, population almost quadrupled since the 1970s, and their estimated population right now is around 5 million birds. That's a lot of birds. For a wild population, 5 million is pretty good. So I don't think we need to worry too much about the snow goose going anywhere. They make lots of babies every year. Their babies are likely to grow to adulthood, and yeah, they're thriving. They're in their lane, thriving, having a good time. So, on our right there, we have a demonstration of how many there are. There's actually, you look at it on the ground there, there's a significant number of the blue geese down there.
Yeah, they stand out.
Yeah, they really do. Just so many. Okay, I was trying to find a video to play, but I didn't find one that didn't have a lot of voiceover or wasn't 20 minutes long or something. But there's some videos out there on YouTube of these giant flocks of snow geese, and highly recommend looking them up because my God. But what do I think about the snow goose? I mean, it is a waterfowl, but I don't want to be mean because, well, I got one right next to me right here, and I feel like I need to say nice things. I mean, look, there's a lot to admire about these guys. I am a huge fan of birds that mate for life and do communal child rearing. I respect that a lot. They're not the smartest animal. Not the smartest birds, but that's okay. That's okay. I think the snow goose, I think they're fine. They don't have the reputation of being mean like the Canada gooses. And I don't know. I like the snow goose. I think they're all right. I think I'm a little afraid of them. I think if I was in that field right there and that was around me, I would just freeze in place and like die of fright. But, but I mean, obviously, being one yourself, well, now that you've heard me give the presentation, what are your thoughts, Gilbert?
Well, it's very interesting because technically I do not classify myself as a wild goose. I am considered domesticated.
Okay.
So listening and hearing all the things that my other fellow brethren geese do, it's pretty great. Except I don't fly.
You don't fly, yeah.
Most domesticated geese do not fly.
It's true. It's like the whole thing of like, I didn't know turkeys could fly. Well, yeah, it's because domesticated turkeys can't fly, but wild turkeys sure can.
Yeah. Yeah, we technically don't build up our muscles. So when a lot of these geese migrate for all these seasons, I don't get to go with them.
Well, I mean, I think you just like look at the flying V going overhead and then you just get on your motorcycle and follow them. Problem is they don't always fly over the freeways. They take some detours and shortcuts. That makes it real hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is why with this one specifically being a snow goose, I was like, I'm gonna fly one way or another. So, airplane, it is.
yeah. Just get yourself on. Just make sure you ride an Airbus.
Yeah.
Don't book a flight on a Boeing right now.
Oh my god, don't remind me. I've seen everything about this lately and I'm like concerned.
Yeah, it turns out that when you let a business regulate themselves, and then the people that are in charge of all their decision making are MBAs and not engineers, quality and safety take a second thing. But luckily, the snow goose, there have been no issues with their legs or wings falling off mid-flight. They seem to stay pretty well attached. So the snow goose, better at flying than Boeing. And I guess that's the last thing we have to say about that. So we're going to call this bird of the day done. And we're going to get ourselves back to the studio. All right?
Okay.
All right, let's go. No music. All right.
No music?
All right. Yeah, the intro music started playing again. All right.
Oh, okay.
Well, we got one last segment. And Gilbert, I know that you've watched some episodes of Sunday Dusk. And you know that I like to finish with a little game. A little quiz game.
Yeah.
And I got a quiz game for you. And it might be something that you know absolutely nothing about.
It is very likely.
But luckily for you, this is a 50-50 thing. So you got a 50-50 shot on every single one of these questions. So, your name is Gilbert. You're thinking, what could I do? Okay. Could I do something based off of the career of Gilbert Gottfried? No,
I'm sorry.
Should I do something based on gooses? Well, I've done, so like Bunny, I did like famous bunnies. For Jindal, I did famous lines. But there really aren't that many goose characters in fiction. There really aren't. Like almost every waterfowl that is in fiction is a duck.
Yeah.
There's lots of ducks.
Plenty of them. Way too many of them, if anything.
But I was like, okay, we got Gilbert the Goose. Well, what's one? Well, I call this one and Sullivan. That's right. We got Gilbert and Sullivan. Famous playwrights who wrote many popular and famous plays. So what I'm going to be quizzing you now on is I will be showing you the name of a play. And you must tell me, was this play written by Gilbert and Sullivan, or was it written by someone else? How well do you know the plays of Gilbert and Sullivan?
I've never heard of them before.
You've never heard of Gilbert and Sullivan?
No, I
Well,
told you I don't
guarantee
watch a
you-
lot of media, especially plays.
Well, then this is going to be interesting. Let's see. Look, okay. If you get half of them right, that's kind of our expected. So everyone you get over 50%, we're going to call that like a nice little bonus good job thing. But I guarantee you, you'll have at least heard of some of these plays. So
We shall see. I'm not very confident in this.
you're not very confident. Well, let's see how well we can do. All right. We're going to go to the very first one. And I was on the wrong window and I accidentally minimized it. All right. This window. All right. First one. The King and I. Was The King and I written by Gilbert and Sullivan?
I've never heard of this play. I'm just gonna say no.
You're going to say no? And you would be correct. This is a Hammerstein play. Say, all right. You're perfect so far. There was a movie. Yeah, a lot of these have been made into movies. A lot of them have been, All right, well.
Again, I don't
surprised
even
you've never heard of
watch.
The King and I.
I mean, here's the thing too. Like when I grew up, I was watching a lot of older classic movies because my mom was born in the '60s. So, but we would watch black and whites. So if you give me stuff from that era, I might know more of it. Like those eras. Like I grew up watching those movies and stuff.
Well, Gilbert and Sullivan, I think, God, when did they write most of their plays? Now I'm curious about when they did it.
But also, again, I don't watch a lot of like media now, so it's like I don't watch a lot of movies.
Okay, so it was late 1800s. They are Victorian era writers. Gilbert lived from 1836 to 1911, and Sullivan lived from 1842 to 1900. So would have been Civil War era is when they would have written most of their. So anyway, next one, Pygmalion. Pygmalion.
I think.
A weird episode of King of the Hill, but
I mean, I'm just gonna go with yes.
you're gonna go with yes. No, that was George Bernard Shaw. George Bernard Shaw. All right. The Pirates of Penzance. Surely you've heard of the Pirates of Penzance. Oh my gosh, he's never heard of the Pirates of Penzance.
Let's go with no.
Sorry, this was a Gilbert and Sullivan. Gilbert and Sullivan wrote Pirates of Penzance. It's yes, of course. Doesn't get it. Yes. Pygmalion is a movie about the Pythagorean theorem. I don't think that's true. All right, The Sorcerer.
No.
You gonna say no? No, I'm sorry. This one was Gilbert and Sullivan. Well, you started off perfect, and now you're 1 for 4. But that's okay. That's okay. You know nothing about this. You don't look stupid. This just isn't a topic you know about. It's okay. And honestly, I don't know if I would have done that much better myself.
I mean, I look stupid all the time. This is just me doing the same thing.
You're just a silly ghost.
I'm a 1 for one
got
for
1
1,
out of
technically
4.
speaking.
So,
No, I mean like 1 for 1, as in I've been stupid on your channel twice.
Oh, right. Yes.
So I got a streak going, and I'm not looking to lose it.
The Seagull.
No?
Correct. This was Anton Chekhov. Very good. Very good. You knew that one, of course. You're a big Anton Chekhov fan. Yeah. The Grand Duke.
Oh. Yes.
That is correct. This is a Gilbert and Sullivan. Yay!
Oh. I've never heard of. I don't know anything play wise, let alone movies. So I'm like,
a lot of these have been made into movies.
See, the thing is, I was actually a little worried on the game because I knew nothing, and I had this expectation that something like this was going to happen, and I would know nothing about it.
I know. I mean, I wish I could have tailored something a little more to your interest, but you know how hard it is to come up with new games every single week?
No, I get that. That's why I'm like, I'm just gonna roll with whatever happens.
Look, nobody here is thinking, God, what a moron, she doesn't know anything. Because I guarantee you, most of the audience who's playing along at home is like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is a difficult quiz, so don't feel bad. This is a hard one. And yeah, I meant to say, you're doing fine. But A Doll's House. Do you think A Doll's House was written by Gilbert and Sullivan?
Yes?
You say yes. Sorry, that was Henrik Ibsen. Sorry, no. Yeah, funny thing is that a lot of these here, I was able to find like the playbill for it, but I had to Photoshop out the writer's name. All right, The Glass Menagerie.
Yes?
No, that's Tennessee Williams. Come on, you don't know Tennessee Williams? Such a
I only know
famous
Tennessee
play.
as a state.
Yes.
I don't know anything else. My brain is very empty. I just think about
Well,
cars.
I suppose a big clue is think something that would have been written. See, like I think a clue for this one is that this seems to be more Edwardian style than Victorian.
I
Seems
don't
a
know
little too
the.
modern. Yeah.
I don't know those eras.
Edwardian is like early 1900s. So it's kind of like basically pre-World War II.
I'm not interested in that much history, so I'm not good at like
All
keeping
right.
my eras.
The Importance of Being Earnest.
No.
You're gonna go with no? You'd be right. That was Oscar Wilde. You know of Oscar Wilde, right? No, not that Ernest Bentai. Funny thing is that Ernest Scared Stupid actually legitimately terrified me as a child.
Who's that?
Haven't you seen the Ernest movies? Like Ernest Goes to Jail, Ernest Scared Stupid, Ernest.
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh.
This is what I mean by like I don't watch a lot of media.
Okay.
It's very interesting.
I guess I should have gone with is this a real Taco Bell menu item or not kind of quiz for you.
Sorry.
All right. Trial by jury.
Yes? Question mark?
Correct. All right. Well, now we're through 10
Oh.
and you've gotten 5 right. So you're
Oh.
exactly 50-50. All right. You're doing great. The Mikado.
No.
Sorry, this actually was Gilbert and Sullivan. They decided. Now, this is a play written by 2 Americans in the 1800s, and it is about feudal Japan. You think it holds up? You think there's anything problematic in this? I don't know.
Oh no.
All right. Angels in America.
No.
Correct. This is Tony Kushner. There we go. That's all right. Only a few more left to go. I believe in you, Gilbert. I believe in you. Iolanth. It's about fairies.
No.
Sorry, this actually is a Gilbert and Sullivan. And apparently one of the things with this is a play that modern performances of it are, we are going to be as outlandish and campy as possible. Like, I mean, look at it. Just based on the costuming alone, I feel like this would be a fun play to go to.
It's very colorful.
Yeah, love color. Princess Ida.
No.
Nah, this is Gilbert and Sullivan. The Princess Ida looks like a good warrior princess. I feel like
Yeah.
Xena got some inspiration from Princess Ida. That's what I'm getting. I know nothing about the play. A streetcar named Desire.
No.
That is correct. That's way too modern. That's Tennessee Williams again. Stella! Stella! You probably don't know that. Everything I know
I do
about A
not.
Streetcar Named Desire, I know from the Simpsons episode where Marge was in a musical rendition of Streetcar Named Desire. Classic episode. All right. Final one. What? Shit. You didn't see that. Did you see that? You didn't see that. You said nothing. The gondoliers.
Oh, what a day to have eyes, I guess.
Well, what's your guess?
Yeah?
Yes, that's correct. I can't believe you got that one. This is another one of those places. So apparently Gilbert and Sullivan were well known for being eccentrics. I mean, you look at the ones that they had here, like, you know, the Isle Length with the fairies. This one here is just like, it seems like they're very cheerful, upbeat plays. Very, very happy kind of stuff. So, well, we're at the end of it, and it was 16 questions long, and you got 8 correct. So you did exactly as luck would expect you to do. You would have gotten exactly the same score if you had just said yes to every single question. So sorry to put you through that, but you know, it's finding a quiz for everybody every single week. It ain't easy. And when you gave me the name Gilbert, I went through the things and it's like, how would I do a quiz based on Gilbert Gottfried? Like, especially, so I don't know what, show a picture of him or a character he plays and say, what movie is this? I guess then you would have gotten Aladdin right. And does this feature Gilbert Gottfried? The thing is, Gilbert Gottfried, though, is I don't think Gilbert Gottfried starred in anything. I don't think he was the star of anything, although there was a pilot called Norman's Corner that Gilbert Gottfried was going to play a guy who ran a newsstand in New York City. And the show is basically just going to be about him working this newsstand. And apparently the pilot was so bad that, like, he couldn't get work in a sitcom for a while. And it was written and created by Larry David. And this was, like, back in the 80s before Seinfeld. And I think one of the network executives, when they were pitching Seinfeld, Seinfeld was pitching, like, saying, yes, and I'm working on this new show with Larry David. And one of the people said, isn't that the guy who wrote that piece of shit Norman's Corner? Yeah, Gilbert was always just like, he was just always that character actor who was just like, hey, we need a guy with a weird voice in here for this scene. And he's like, he's in so many things, but he's never the star. He's just like, oh, it's Gilbert Gottfried. Trying to think, are there any other famous Gilberts? Do you know any other famous Gilberts?
No. Not really. Like I said, I don't even know my actor names and stuff. So even if you given me an actor name, I wouldn't know.
Well, around here, here at Corvus Twig TV, when we think of Gilbert, we think of you.
As it should be.
Yes.
Please.
Well, I mean, Gilbert, you've been an amazing guest. You were so much fun to have on. I had a great time, so I can't thank you enough for coming on. And,
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And we're going to head out soon, but before we do, is there anything you'd like to plug or let anybody know about that's coming up?
No. I mean, other than just, if you like what I do, if you want to see more of my content, you can obviously find me on Twitch. You can find me on Twitter. I make TikToks, but I haven't updated them in like a hot minute. But yeah, if you want more silly goose shenanigans, you know where to find me. My name isn't that hard. It's not that difficult. It's pretty easy to misspell, though.
It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. But anyway, you got the link in here. Just click the description. It'll take you to Gilbert. Give Gilbert a follow. It's a pro follow. And so yeah, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna rate somebody we've never rated before. Our good friend Diefed. Dyfed's been on here a few times. He was on my birthday stream.
Whee!
We like Dyfed. Dyfed's a good guy. And right now they only have one viewer, so I feel like we need to give him a little boost. He's playing a little Batman. So we're going to head on, say hi to Dyfed. So thank you, everybody, for watching. There will be no Sunday Dusk next week because Easter. But we might have something else going on instead. That's not set in stone yet. But stay tuned because we might have something real exciting coming up very, very soon. So we will see you all next week, maybe. But if not, in 2 weeks. And everybody, have a great rest of your evening and a great week. We will see you all soon.